listening to The Announcer's Table with Daryl and Ian. This podcast is presented by RingIcon.com, the social networking site for wrestlers, fans, promoters, and everything indie wrestling. Log on today and create your profile, and as always, enjoy the show.
Hey guys, this is Ian.
I'm Samoa Joe. No?
You're Daryl.
Daryl. Gotta remember that. Well, I'll get that down one day. I'm Daryl.
So, today we are doing Promotion Builder, and today we're actually talking about the start and the finish of the shows.
Yep.
So, what do you think?
Well, I think the start of the show needs to be something that's just going to punch the audience right in the mouth. Just you want to go out there and you just want to punch them and get them excited for like, oh man, it's starting off like this. So
don't literally punch your fans.
No, don't. Well, that one sitting over there you can. Dr. Russell.
Yeah, that one guy you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you definitely need to come out and start the show off with a bang. Whether it be a phenomenal match that really gets the show started, or you start out with a really good promo. You know what I mean? A good interview or segment that you start the show off with. One I can think of that I think we talked about a couple weeks ago was the SCW show. They started out with a promo kind of thing talking about one of their guys being injured and a title being on the line that he had to he either had to wrestle or he forfeited the title.
Yep.
And so that was, they started off the show with that promo, and it really got you interested in it.
Because then the guy came out.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that just happened.
It was very awesome. I remember looking at Ian, I'm like, that's how you start a show.
Yeah,
that got me hooked right there.
And for us never being at that show before, us being the first time meeting some of those guys, and to really, as fans coming into the show, we learned a lot about the characters and the gimmicks.
And the storyline.
And the storyline that they've had going in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the show, and it was entertaining, So that's one way to start off a show, You either do that or you have a phenomenal match, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, the thing that we've seen, and luckily I haven't seen it a whole bunch, but we have seen it, and it can be a problem, is you send two guys out there to work, and they're not the best, Well, are them working each other doesn't make a lot of sense. There's like two conflicting different styles, and the match just kind of bombs.
Well, a lot of, I hate to say it, a lot of bookers think that way just because a lot of wrestlers don't like being the first. You know what I mean? They're considered curtain jerkers, you're the beginning of the show, but honestly, you need to take that as a compliment because, and bookers need to start realizing that the start of your show is the most vital. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's like you see a lot of WWE pay-per-views, one of the first matches is like a title match a lot of times. And it's a lot of times it's like two good wrestlers, and you're thinking, man, why are they opening up the show? Why is the women's match going on after this? It just doesn't make sense. It makes sense because they want to go out there, they want to kick the pay-per-view off right.
Yeah.
They want to get the crowd into it. They want to put on an awesome match, and that's how, as an indie promoter, you should think. You want to send two of your best guys out there.
Not your main event.
Yeah, if they're tied in the main event, you don't, obviously. But, like, two of your better guys who can just blow it up, get it going, get the crowd into it, who are good at getting the crowd into it.
Yeah.
You want to send them out there, give them that phenomenal first match, and they're like, man, wow, I'm glad I just gave up my Friday or Saturday night to come to this.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to blow everything on the first match. You want it to be really good, but you don't want people leaving afterwards either. So
that first match should set the standard of the show.
Yeah.
So because here's the thing: if you're in the back, and there's always a way to watch the rest. Everybody watches. Everybody watches the match that's going on. Yeah. Especially if they're finished getting dressed up like that. And if they go out there and they see the crowd, if they hear the crowd chanting and they see what's going on, and that's going to fire them up to want to go out there and top them.
Yeah.
And so if you go out there and if the first match is very lackluster, then the guys in the back goes, I don't have to do much to beat that.
Yeah.
But if that first match goes out there and punches that audience in the face, and they're chanting and they're jumping up and they're really
Metaphorically
getting into
punching in the face again.
Yeah, don't punch them. That one guy you can't. The other people don't. But
if they look like this guy, you can.
But I mean, if that gets them going, that's going to fire up everybody in the back on, man, wow, we really got to step up our game. And that can only help build your show.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, the start of the show, obviously you need to start it off strong. I mean, just to keep people there. I mean, a lot of the shows we go to, they not a lot of the shows we go to, but some of the shows we've been to, they throw out, really curtain jerkers in the first couple matches because they're really hoping the seats will fill in, and a lot of times
the best for last.
Yeah, a lot of the times that doesn't really happen,
No.
So you really need to start the show off.
But here's the thing, though: if the seats aren't quite filled in yet, and that first match is awesome, and people walk in during that first match, or they get there and people are saying, "Man, you should have been here for that first match," they'll get there on time next time.
Yep.
Or early.
Yeah.
Okay, but in going with the first match, the rest of the card needs to step up and keep the momentum going.
Definitely.
But now let's talk about the ending of the show.
Yeah.
All right, the main event. What's your take?
The main event, I mean, obviously needs to be your crowd drawers. I mean, anybody, your two or tag team or whatever, your two guys that draw the biggest crowd need to be at the end, because that's who the crowd came to see.
Exactly.
They're going to stay to see till the end. So your main event obviously needs to be your biggest draw.
Yeah, but in doing so also, you need to go ahead and start or continue the story arc to get ready for your next show, because that's going to get them wanting to come back. Because if you set something up and it's really good, and it, like, they know they have to come back either next week or in 2 weeks or in a month, however often the show rotates there, they're going to be like, oh man, I gotta wait to see that. They're gonna be excited.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell their friends, hey man, dude, they got this awesome, match going on, let's go. And so they'll be there on time, if not early, to see the first match, because that first match freaking kicked butt and rocked.
Yeah.
And then the whole card stepped up after that, and that main event blew the roof off. And then you continued or started or, the story arc to get them drawn in to want to come back and see how that plays out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and even in between the first match and the last match, you need to do something to build up that last match too. You know what I mean? Have an interview with one of the guys that's working the main event, or do something in the intermission time or in between to build up that end of the show.
Yeah, like have a guy come out, do a promo.
Right.
To kind of talk about it, or if you have a commissioner or whomever, have them talk about. One thing I liked when I, would go to indie shows or when I was a part of them, is I would talk about, like, especially what I announced, is I would have the whole match card, and I would talk about upcoming events for the night. When I was opening the show, I'd be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready? This is what we got going on for you tonight. And I would try and hype it up and get. So if you have a good announcer who can really hype up the crowd and get them going, that could also help build your card for the night and build the momentum and get it going. Because if you got a guy out there that's going to get the crowd into it, be like, are y'all ready for some wrestling? And the crowd's like, and they're like not selling for that. I'm like, no. Are y'all? They get more vocal, make the audience get more vocal. Yeah. That can only work to your benefit too.
So, I mean, throughout the whole night, obviously the whole show needs to be good, because that's the whole point of somebody paying, $10 or whatever to get in the door, or more. You need to have a full show that's really good, but the start is very important just because it gets people involved, and then the finish is very important because that's going to bring them back next time. So,
our opinions. Your opinions may vary.
Yeah, you may have some of the bookers out there, or some of the promoters out there. You might already have a method that's working phenomenally. You know what I mean?
Do it.
Then keep doing what you're doing. Let us know what you're doing. We'd like to talk about it.
Yeah.
But for us, the theory is, start the show off right. you know, and end the show wanting them to come back
on a high, because that's
Yeah.
going to make them want to come back.
So
Hey, let us know. Obviously, punch that guy on the left, not that one, the other guy. Punch him in the mouth. And let us know what's going on. Let us know what works for you. Let us talk about it. And until then, you have anything else?
no, I think that's about it. You know, just keep promoting.
Yep. I'm Samoa Joe. See you next week.
It's actually Daryl.
I'll get it right one day.
Doesn't look anything like Samoa Joe. All right, see you next week.